And hello, everyone. It's the show where no one had technical issues before we went on the air. It is Insider Gaming Weekly for Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. I'm, of course, one of Insider Gaming senior editors, Mike Straw, joined with me, as always, by my co-host senior editor, below me on the screen, Grant Taylor Hill, senior producer, down that way, A to the P, Albert Perkins, and next to me, to my left, it is Tom Henderson, the head honcho, the Gong Lord himself. We're all here. We're all in a great mood. Today, nothing bad has happened this week in gaming. Nothing bad is happening in the world. How you guys feeling?
Never. When do bad things happen in the world? When do bad things happen in the video game industry? Come on. I'm great, man. It's been a long week, but I'm doing great. How about you?
It's been fantastic. I am exhausted. It's been one hell of a week. We're in October now, and it bothers me because I don't know where the year went. And we're already getting close to that time. Tom, how are you?
Christmas trees are already on the shelves here in the UK. I don't know about in the US, but to be honest, they've been on the shelves since August, and Grant tried to chime in there, but he's muted once again, as always.
I just made an absolute corker of a joke, but I can't repeat it. So,
all right, good. So it's probably a good job that he was muted. But yeah, I'm doing good. Things are going swell. Ready to crack on with the episode. What number are we on now?
33. We are fast approaching.
Nice.
So we've had to take weeks off here or there. So we're fast approaching the 52nd episode. But we are 2.5 months away, just about, from our 1 year mark of doing this show, which is nuts. Again, where the hell did the year go?
That's gone so fast.
Grant, you having fun? You doing good? Are you all ready? Your shelves are a little bare there.
They're getting there, man. They're getting there. Right, like all I've got is my VR and some trusty collectibles. But yeah, man. This is my last podcast in this house. That's it, man.
Wow,
next week will be a completely different location. That's crazy.
That's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna look weird.
It's gonna be sad, man. It's gonna be sad. You know, we've only lived here for like 5.5 years, but you know, we've my wife and I got married in this house, not literally in the house, but you know,
imagine that we got married right in front of our bed. And then
keep it affordable, you know. But we did, you know. We had our first child in this house, and I started Insider Gaming in this house, you know.
Oh man!
No, I started it. Tom started it, but I was, you know,
best years of your life.
That's it, man. It genuinely is. So it's going to be it's tough, but you know,
I wish I had that kind of connection with a place. Like I had it with the home I grew up in because I was lucky enough to be in the same house from the time I was 1 until I moved out when I was 22. Like perfectly fine. But the house I'm in now, like we've been in it for 9.5 years. We bought it, had our kids, everything like that. But I'm also just like, nah, this ain't the end. And then I look at the market and I go, no, it might be the end.
Yeah. 100%.
Phil said, will the new house be more level? It might be. So I think I've said before, the reason I have my camera at a funny angle is because if I don't, you see like my whole house behind me because we live in a shoebox. So I have it angled looking into like shoving me in the corner. So I've got a lot more room in the new place. So that probably won't be the case. You won't be able to see like my wife milling around in the background in the new place. So that should be good. You know, we'll see. Maybe I'll deliberately angle the shelves just to keep continuity. You know.
Of course, this is Insider Gaming Weekly, a video game podcast coming to you live every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube. You can also catch the show on demand after the fact on YouTube or on your favorite streaming services, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, wherever you can find us. If you are listening to us wherever and however, please leave us a rating, leave a like, thumbs up, whatever. It helps us grow. It helps get the show out there for more. If you want to be a part of the show, leave your questions in the comments. We will get to them as we can, as it pertains to the subject. If you want to guarantee your question gets read at the time you send it or right around the time you send it, consider leaving us a super chat. It goes a long way as well to making sure we continue to be able to put the best foot forward with this. But we have a big show. Like, it's huge. with the news.
Oh man, the theme just burst straight into my head. Then we said we have a big show, and I was just like, "Where?" I was like, "Oh man,
it's a big bad show tonight."
I wish I still had when he was the giant in WCW. I had one of those like micro brawlers, those voice ones where you can beat them up and stuff as a kid. I had one for him, and I wish I still had it, but I destroyed that thing.
Man,
EA is being sold. Xbox, Microsoft are continuing to make really strange decisions that are anti-consumer. And there were a couple exclusives that dropped at Insider Gaming this week, and we are going to talk about that as well. But we will start this show as we do every week, because when we don't, not only do the hosts get mad, but the people get mad. What are you playing this week? What's new? Grant, we'll start with you this time.
2 things. So one is Dying Like the Beast, which is great because it's kind of like a spit in the eye of everyone that keeps commenting on videos because I put a lot of clips and stuff on like TikTok and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, this is just like $60 DLC. This is tiny." And I'm at 70 hours and I'm still enjoying it. I've got a second run through that I started on PlayStation 5, trying to scoop all the trophies and stuff, which is very achievable, which is great. I should be able to platinum it in the next couple of days, but it's like it's the gift that keeps on giving. I'm seeing a lot of people still saying nice things about it. I think they just went up a couple of notches on like Steam with the review scores. Now they patched out some like launch bugs and stuff, and it's just getting better. And I think I said in the last episode, there's like more stuff coming as well. Once they've got through the launch period, they'll be announcing other bits and pieces. I think a lot of people can probably guess that it'll be something like New Game Plus, but there's other stuff. So I'm really enjoying that still. And then the other thing is Fallout 76, because that is in a really good place right now.
Yeah.
Big up. Really, really, really good place. They've just put out on the public test server, which is the test product that they host on Steam exclusively to trial, new updates and such. They've put out Burning Springs, which is the biggest update to hit Fallout 76 in 5 years.
I can't believe that game 1 has been out that long already.
Yeah, man. It
feels like yesterday that it was announced and no one knew what the hell it was.
7 years and almost 7 years. And in that time, it's had like 30 seasons of multiplayer content. They keep pumping that pipeline full of stuff. But this is the biggest update they've ever had. And I was sitting on this info for like 2 weeks before it came out. And me being the Fallout fan I am, it was very hard to keep it quiet. But no, it's here, and it's here if you're on Steam and you've got the public test server, and it looks great. Like you've got this whole new area. It's gone to Ohio now. There's new events and quest lines and stuff. But Walton Goggins, if there's anyone who likes the Fallout TV show, Walton Goggins has reprised his character, the Ghoul, in the game. Although the character visually might need a little bit of work, it's pretty cool to hear him represented in the game. And he did a little spiel about it on the announcement thing they did yesterday, talking about how he said something like, it's like the best part of it. He's like, I can't remember what his words were, but he said something like being in the game makes rainbows come out of him with happiness or something. And I was like, he's laying it on a little bit thick, but it's pretty cool. So that's been me. That's been me for the last week or so.
AP, what about you? College football, I assume?
Yeah, still playing some college football, Mike. Conference plays just kicked off here, and I'm just rolling right now. Just got done playing Tech last night. That's Georgia Tech. Whooped on them. I think the score was 70 to 17, dude. It wasn't.
Wow, you're playing on freshman.
I'm actually playing. No, I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for that. I had that loaded in the ammunition. The ammunition loaded up. I was ready. I'm actually on All American. So we're good. We're good there. No varsity or junior varsity or whatever mode as far as the gameplay difficulty goes. But outside of that, man, I've been also playing Metal Gear. As I mentioned, I was going to dive into that last week, and I started playing that. That's going great. I just rescued, I'm pretty early on, so I just rescued Sokolov. And then, of course, met Ocelot there for the very first time, which is a great exchange for those who have played the game. What's so funny?
My stupid mind. You're like, I've been playing Metal Gear, and my dumb self immediately goes, I'm a fan of rubber gears. Why? In my head. And I was going to make the joke, and I'm like, just don't. And then I couldn't keep my composure.
I was like, did I say something? What happened?
No,
That's so funny.
I'm stupid. That's all it is.
Oh, classic, man. Classic. But yeah, I've been playing Metal Gear, not Rubber Gear, folks. But it's been going good. And
Rubber Gear is the PAL world of Metal Gear.
yes. There you go.
That's what Power World will probably try and rip off next is Metal Gear.
Yeah, there you go.
But they'll get patents after the game comes out to make it retroactively bad.
Yeah.
Have Konami going after them.
Tom, how about you? Playing anything fun? Probably not, because
sorry guys, but I haven't played a single game in the past week. I have noticed though we are very predictable during this segment, so I don't know how much we should keep doing it. It's like,
see, you guys are very
to be honest, like Mike isn't, but I know now for the next 3 months that AP is probably going to be playing college football. Grant is probably going to be dying like the beast, Tarkov, and then from next week Battlefield.
Bits and pieces. Like I have my VR up here, and I dip on that every now and then. And last week, I think in the last.
When was the last time you mentioned VR?
Because it's one of those like piecemeal things,
Yeah,
it's like I play it a little bit. It's like Blade and Sorcery. If you guys know what Blade and Sorcery is, I've played like 6 hours of that in the last week, But I'm not going to say that. Like I'm not going to say every, like if I load up, Patrick Star SpongeBob game for an hour.
But those are the games people want to know about.
Those are the ones that spark conversation. Yeah.
The game I've been playing the most, I can't talk about until October 9th.
Man,
that's the game I've been playing the most. I put it in our Discord. I've put about 30 hours into it over the past 5 days, getting ready for a review. I'm having a blast with it. I'm terrible at it. It gets some difficulty spikes that are annoying, but I am having a blast with it. The games I can talk about that I've been playing, I've been back into Rematch. I really hope they figure out something to get. I talked about it. Get their player numbers up because they're still not good. I am anxiously awaiting another game coming out October 9th called Dice a Lot. It is an indie game that is a roguelike dice builder where you roll the die and build your dice kind of like you would with a deck of cards with powers and fight battles on your runs doing that. I saw a trailer for it during the 6-1 Indie Showcase a couple weeks ago while covering that and immediately fell in love with what I saw. And I can't wait to get my hands on that one. As far as games I can play other than that I've been talking about, Desktop Survivors, which is a game similar to Vampire Survivors, but it takes place literally on your desktop. You can have it in its own window, but if you want, you can have it overlay on your desktop and play it that way. And it is so fun.
Cool.
Like I remember playing it the first time at PAX, and they had it set up on like CRT monitors running on Windows 98 machines. Like it was so good. Fun times.
Nice. Solid, Mike. Yeah.
Tom, is there a game? I know what game you're going to be playing next week. Next week, when I answer you this question, you'll probably still say no, but I know what game you will be playing because at this rate, I don't even know if we're going to have a show next week.
It's not out until the 10th, though.
I know, but I'm assuming it comes out. The release times are they midnight Eastern worldwide? Or is
no. I think it's midnight local. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so it's midnight.
Unless they've changed it, I don't know.
Oh, so it'll be a couple hours before.
If only we had a guide about it on insidergaming.com.
I don't know. Maybe we do. Everybody should go check it. Insider-gaming.com because someone was stupid and bought insidergaming.com and is hoarding it for thousands of dollars.
I bet I was going to say even
domain.
more knows.
I can't stand those. I can't stand domain parkers. They bother me. They bother me so much.
Stupid, man.
I have a buddy of mine who any stupid domain he can think of, he'll buy them on the off chance someone wants it so he can sell it for a ridiculous amount of money.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Literally the only reason that says
That's the only reason. Moving on, before we get to it, a reminder, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, rate the show if you're listening to us after the fact on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Leave us a super chat if you want to help. Leave your comments and questions in the chat. But the top story we're going to start with today isn't the Xbox news, which we will get to. It's the news that first started to trickle out late Friday afternoon last week, because that's the best time to news dump, is when everybody's getting to sign off for the week, that EA was set to be sold to an investor group. Monday, that news became official. EA is being sold to a group of investors that include Silver Lake, who seem to have their hands in a bunch of things, the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, who also have their hand in a bunch of things, and Affinity Partners, a private equity firm that is owned and founded by Jared Kushner. If you are wondering and you're tuning in and you are not an American, wondering who the hell Jared Kushner is, he is Donald Trump's son-in-law, the current American president. And this group was put together for very specific reasons, and we'll get to that in a minute. But at a high level, when this news dropped, what went through your minds?
I mean, I was actually like, this didn't make it through to Insider Gaming in any way. But when the news dropped, like just after, when was it? Wednesday?
Monday morning.
Monday. Yeah, it was like rumored, wasn't it? And then it got confirmed on Monday morning for Sting.
So I had an email from a firm in the UK called ITV, who, for anyone that's not in the UK, it's the second biggest broadcaster in the UK behind the BBC. And they were like, "Hey, can we have an interview and talk about the EA acquisition?" I was just like, oh, "Yeah, sure, man, why not?" So I was talking to those guys about it. Because they wanted to do a piece about the implications it could have on the industry and on EA and on the consumer. And ultimately, what I gave them was really shrunk down because of like a 20-minute chat, but they only put out like 20 seconds worth of quotes. So there's much more that could be said. But I think I said to them when I was talking about it, I was like, the news didn't like shock me in any way, because I think earlier in the year we knew that Andrew Wilson, CEO, wanted to, they were talking about privatization or something like that. We know that like Saudi, for example, everyone kind of forgets Affinity and Silver Lake, and they just look at Saudi. Like, really, you could ask the average gamer and they'd probably just think that like some Saudi Arabian firm outright had bought EA, we knew they wanted to get into the gaming market in a big way with their whole like vision project. But I think the consensus was that them trying to stand up something homegrown was never going to work. So obviously the solution there is to go and buy something that exists. And then you look at what's on the market and what's available for sale and what they haven't already, what they've potentially got investments in. And you look at like Take-Two, probably not. You look at like Nintendo, probably not going to buy a Nintendo, are they? And then like EA, they got a 10% stake in EA. That makes complete sense. Buy EA, which they did, So I think I was like, oh, cool. It wasn't as like dramatic as them coming out. The Microsoft Activision thing was I feel like much more like hyped. I feel like the EA thing. I mean, we still got a couple of years until the deal goes through, if it does, because not a couple.
We got 9 months or 6
months.
Next Q1 2027 fiscal year.
Oh, okay.
So it won't close until at least April 1st of 2026.
Oh, okay. So I misread the date. I thought it was Q1 calendar year. No. So that's why I was wrong. Okay, cool. So never mind then. Okay, so I was thinking it was going to be years. So, but even so, it's subject to whatever. So we'll see what happens with it. And then I think the expectations now, like I'm not sitting there thinking like, oh, it's some massive deal, because we knew it was coming. I'm just concerned now about where it goes from here, because I think I saw a quote from someone on like LinkedIn or something where they were saying that it's not really such a concern or a talking point that like a majorly Saudi-backed consortium has bought EA. It's now the intention and like what they want to do with it that's the concern. Yeah. Because everyone's already said about imminent layoffs, studio closures. We did a piece earlier today on Insider Gaming about studio sales and IP sales for them to recoup on the debt that they've accrued now. EA is going to be $20 billion in debt financing in the whole with this deal. So they're going to make that back somewhere. So we're like, how are they going to do that? Aggressive monetization, price hikes, layoffs, project cancellations here and there. And then we start leaning into the whole like political side of things and censorship. And we're like, well, it's Saudi backed, right? So games that are quite progressive, like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, where they have LGBTQ elements and same-sex relationships and stuff, are they going to have an impact on that now? What about a series like Battlefield, which historically has had lots of theaters of war in and around the Middle East? You know, is that going to be impacted? You know, like where's that going to go? So I think I'm not so concerned or bothered that the purchase happened. I'm just really curious to see where it all goes now. You know,
AP, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Grant. It wasn't too surprising to me that the whole privatization or whatever you want to call it went down, because they were kind of talking about it for such a long time. But for me now, it's more of like how are things going to look whenever they move forward, like what you're alluding to. For me, you mentioned a couple things that could happen, and a couple that stuck out for me was the latter part, which is what you were saying. It's like the cancellation of some games. I could see that potentially happening depending on, what kind of numbers I guess they're looking at, what kind of financial numbers they're looking at as far as how much a certain game makes, or the numbers as far as how many units are sold per capita for that game. And then also, of course, you have, layoffs, if a game doesn't sell well, it's not hitting the numbers. I could easily see, a team getting let go, entire teams getting let go. We've seen that plenty of times over the past like 5 years or so. So it wouldn't surprise me if that ended up happening. It did kind of surprise me that I guess the actual group that purchased them. I was not aware, or I guess privy to, the actual group that was going to be purchasing them. I didn't know they were going to be, international and everything. So that kind of surprised me. But I guess if there's one thing that surprised me, that would be it. But as far as everything else, yeah, definitely didn't, because they were talking about it there for a little while there as well. So,
Tom, before I go on my tangent, I want your thoughts, because I got some things to say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll go now, because I feel like I actually have quite a different opinion to what you're going to say. And I think first and foremost, I think with any acquisition, right, there's going to be layoffs, there's going to be project cancellations. This is I don't want to say normal, but unfortunately it is, where they want to cut costs and all that kind of stuff when an acquisition happens. I think the big deal for a lot of people is obviously, hey, this is now going to be backed by Saudi, right? And in a significant way. I'm not entirely sure on the actual percentage, but the majority is it Silver Lake? But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I'm kind of two minds. I think Saudi is being a lot more progressive lately, and a lot of their investments. If you actually look at their gaming investments, they've actually been pretty strong, in the sense that when they have made them, there hasn't been as many layoffs as perhaps like other companies or whatever. But yeah, undoubtedly there is concerns about, as Grant mentioned, games that are very centered at, around, like BioWare, for example, that have a lot of LGBTQ elements and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm of two minds. Like, it's unfortunate, because there just is going to be layoffs, and there is going to be project cancellations. But at the same time, who else was going to buy it? And in this current state of the industry, if you can think of someone that was going to buy it, would they have been better off? But yeah, I'm interested as well how they're gonna make up for this 20 billion debt. I think obviously the rumor of the annualization of Battlefield is probably a very simple and easy thing that they're probably looking at, right? Like, I know that was a rumor that happened a couple of months ago, but whether or not that was because this deal was happening, I don't know. But it's interesting times. And now, Mike, I will leave it over to you, because I know you're bursting at the seams.
No, I am not opinionated about this at all. So on the studio thing, the closures and layoffs, you hit the nail on the head, Tom, with that. Every time there's a merger or an acquisition, like, there are going to be layoffs. Immediately, everybody pointed to BioWare's the studio first on the chopping block. It kind of makes sense. After the news broke, I had talked to a number of employees at BioWare, who I'd spoke to last time they got hit with layoffs after Dragon Age, and everybody was basically like, we're back to walking on eggshells. We're nervous. All of that. They're fully expecting the shoe to drop, but they also have, in what I think is a very healthy mindset for a lot of them, they're going to freshen up their portfolios, keep their resumes ready, start sending out feelers, and keep showing up until the paychecks stop. And that is, and that's all you can do. You can't go in every day going, is this the day? Is this the day? Is this the day? You just have to know it might be and do what you can do and control what you can control.
But sorry, Mike, but just on BioWare in particular, and obviously nothing against those people, but one, you could argue that this was like foreshadowing for a long time, regardless of an acquisition.
Without a doubt. I mean, EA was trying to sell it. Like people,
exactly.
EA was actively trying to sell it, couldn't find a buyer.
So it's just one of them, right? Like, I don't think, I think a lot of people in the media industry has looked at it and like obviously come to the conclusion that, oh, hey, BioWare do a lot of LGBTQ stuff and all that kind of stuff. So they're instantly going to go, right? Because Saudi doesn't like that stuff. But I don't think that's the case at all, to be honest. I would argue that they've probably been walking on eggshells for a number of years, even before Veilguard was released. And I think Veilguard was the final nail in the coffin for them, to be honest. And on the fact that, they are updating resumes and all that kind of stuff, I think that pretty much everyone is doing that in the industry anyway, because there's
everyone in every industry.
Yeah, there's exactly. But like nothing is guaranteed, and we've seen, especially these past 2 years, that unfortunately, I don't think we're at the top of the peak of the layoffs and the consolidation and all that stuff, and it's just going to continue now for a good number of years, unfortunately. So, sorry, I just wanted to get that out there.
Now, on the group that owns this, a couple things come to my mind. Now, Saudi Arabia, Scopely, Savvy Games Group, they had bought Pokemon Go early in the year from Niantic. They bought the Niantic Games wing. So far, nothing has changed with that. It's the first like major acquisition of a popular product and company. Nothing has really changed with that other than trying to figure out where the data lives, at least for their customers or players. They have these small stakes in Nintendo at the time, EA. Well, small, the largest.
Yeah, the 10%, right? On average, I think, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Nintendo 4%, Take-Two 6%, Capcom 6%. They pay and run the entire esports World Cup. They have that control, and what you notice with this group is the worry of censorship and control is there. You can say they're being more progressive, but this is still the best way I want to say is a group that is led by somebody who had yet another journalist executed just 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Like my worry goes to the games. There are the people who, if EA is owned by, this goes through regulations or regulatory, and we'll get to that in a second. Coverage is negative of EA. Will access be revoked? How many people will skirt and look the other way on things in order to keep their glory access to previews and reviews and whatever like that?
But Mike, like you can argue that about any company, right? I mean, we've had this conversation multiple times where maybe not on the podcast, but I mean, it's pretty common knowledge within the industry. If you're not positive about a particular game, your access will be revoked.
Yeah, that's more about the game, but this is more of like if they see like, hey, I wrote something negative on social media because I don't agree with how they run, how they treat people, that regime, like, is that gonna, what I mean? Like, will that, it has nothing to do with the game itself that they're being critical of. It's the ownership. As far as the groups who own it, so Silver Lake is there to kind of be the face on the American side, because if it was just Saudi Arabia, there was no shot. There's Silver Lake as the American company as the face. Affinity Partners is coming in because they have the into the current administration. The president, who would have the final say over this, would not say no to his daughter's husband. Makes it very easy to get through regulatory and any questions. I do wonder, though, if they make, because they're buying EA and taking it private for the first time, it'll be private since 1990. If they force a sale of their stake in Nintendo, of their stake in Take-Two, those are the ones where I think to get through regulatory, they might end up having to do, just because of how, at least on that side, it could look on in the States.
Yeah, I think I did read somewhere though, and I don't want to get into the politics too much, but obviously with Trump's connections to Saudi, people believe that they might not have to do that, and he'll probably be like, just
probably
like fast track it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the fast track will happen solely because of the Affinity Partners, but then you worry about the debt. So there's the rumor or the reports coming out that they're going to utilize AI to crunch, because they are taking on $20 billion in debt from JP Morgan for this purchase. It is going to be classified as a project, a B loan, aka a junk loan, high interest, massive risk to banks because they don't expect to recoup their money, or they don't expect it to be a profitable thing. So what's going to ultimately happen, in my mind, is we are going to see them cut as much cost as they possibly can, which is to be expected over the next few years, solely to just then sell it immediately as soon as they can recoup the money. Because of the type, a leveraged buyout usually means group comes in, cuts costs, they find a way to make something even more profitable, and then they get out through an exit by either another IPO, get public again, because when a company goes back in IPO, stock prices are usually at their highest, or selling it off. And that's the number of games, because there are some people talking about, like, well, maybe this allows them to take longer time to get some games out and be more free because they don't got to answer to shareholders on the outside. I'd argue the opposite. I feel like I agree. They're just going to go with what can make them money. And what I'm worried about now is them taking games like the annualized, the EAFCs, the Maddens, and turning them into free to play. And then you have to a la carte pay extra for what you want. Like giant, like 10x the in-app purchases, microtransactions, and everything like that. I'm nervous. Granted, we don't know until it starts next year, but that is one of the first things from a gaming side I'm more nervous about than anything else.
Yeah. What do you think of the rumors that they could like re-put in FIFA again? Because that would be pretty interesting, right?
I mean, if FIFA has to deal with Andrew Wilson still, they won't do it because there's a very contentious relationship there.
Yeah.
But I also think Andrew Wilson will not be CEO by this time next year. I think he's out.
Interesting.
He's there for the transition. And then once the transition is set, they're going to put their own guy in.
Wow.
I say guy because they won't put a woman in that role if it's a Saudi company.
Woo! Feisty.
It's true. That's very true.
I'm staying censored with my...
I mean,
you have been grounded. Yeah.
Maybe this is them turning a corner, man. Maybe they're going to be more progressive from now
That's
on.
what people thought when they started to allow women to drive, but they still need permission to leave their house. And again, they still execute journalists. Anyway, the nerves, the debt, what happens with these studios, those are the biggest questions. We don't know. There are going to be a lot more that comes out over the next, if March 31st, April 1st is the first day that it can be closed, we're looking at 6 months over the next 6 months of this fiscal year. And I also am scared about the fact that they will no longer have to have earnings calls and report anything. They can just stay silent all they want. So no one there can be no transparency, which is something, again, the public investment firm is known for. They do it with boxing coverage. They if you don't have nice things to say about their boxing promotions, if you're critical of anything, they only want propaganda, and that's what a lot of people are worried about as well.
Yeah, but we'll find a way to get those sales numbers. Don't you worry about it.
Oh, we'll find a way to get a lot. As long as the people I know are still working there.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. Do the people I talk to still have jobs come May of next year? But yeah, and people are wondering in the chat, what does this mean for games like Iron Man? What does this mean for games?
Yeah.
You brought up Battlefield being annualized, but what does this mean for their sports sales? The licenses. Earlier this year, I had reported on this show that the NFL and EA had agreed to a deal. It hadn't been signed yet. It was close. I don't know if it's actually been signed up until now, but my belief was by the end of the year, we'd hear something. Obviously, when these deals are coming around and someone's going to buy, they're going to be told about, hey, we have this agreement in place. We have this agreement. But because they're new ownership, if they haven't been signed, they can realistically just say, nah, never mind. The Formula One deal. This year, F125 was the last one on the contract. There was a 2-year option that a rep for EA said was picked up, only to come back to me hours later and say, we misspoke. Sorry. We have no information on this time. What does that mean? Will that option not be picked up now? And is the Formula One series in jeopardy? What's happening to Codemasters, the developer of Formula One, if there's no game there? There are so many questions with licensing and products in limbo that, again, you can only control what you can control and worry about what you know, but it's going to be on the mind of a lot of people.
Yeah. Interesting times.
Wow.
You know what else is interesting? The fact that Insider Gaming has relaunched its Discord server. You can check it out. I will post the link in the chat, but you can also visit insider-gaming.com to access it anytime, or check the link in the description of this video. It is there, insider-gaming.com. You can check the Discord. 300 people strong in just a few days. It is growing massively. It's growing bigly. So stupid. Do that. Join the Discord. Shut me up. We have more news to get to. The other big news of the week, Xbox, guys. Xbox, after just less than 2 weeks after jacking up the prices of their consoles even more to make them 30% more expensive than when they launched 5 years ago, decides to now raise the price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate by 50%, change the tiers around, raise PC Game Pass, and the people aren't happy. I'm going to shut up for a minute. AP, I'm going to start with you. Good deal, bad deal, how pissed off?
So it doesn't affect me because I mostly play on PlayStation, but for those that play on Xbox, I definitely feel you if you're angry right now. This is insane. This is absolutely insane, man. These prices, this hike. And they try to patent it or pat things down and make it all nice and neat in a bow by saying like, oh yeah, there's going to be all these games that we're adding and everything else. Like, nah, man, people don't care about that. It's all about how much money you're putting into it. And yeah, with this, man, it's going to be not good. I think I saw, who was it? I think it was Discussing Film. I think they tweeted it out yesterday that there were so many people that were dropping the whole Xbox Live service. There were so many people that were dropping it that the system was like bogged down.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, like you guys realize what you have done. Like you have that many people leaving, not coming in, leaving, that have like completely, cooked your system. That's not a good thing. And so look, I think this is going to bite them in the ass, man. I really do. I think this is going to come back and this is going to bite them in the ass. And, like you said, they've already went ahead. They've raised the prices on the console side of things for the second time this year.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like the first time you did it, okay, you can blame it on the tariffs. But then you do it the second time and it's like, okay, what the hell is really going on here, right? I mean, come on, bro.
Before we get to Mr. Capitalist, you know what made me laugh about it? I think it was just the day before Sarah Bond went on about how it's record revenue for Game Pass. Like just glazing how well Game Pass is performing. And then the next day they pull this. All right, Mr. Capitalist, how are you going to piss me off?
Wow. I don't think it's that bad.
There it is. There it is.
Not everybody's rich, Mr. Moneybags, you 1%er.
So they put the price up. Yeah, I mean, what's weird is they've put the price up so much recently. I think there was like some historic thing where it wasn't put up for like ever, and then they put the first price increase was it last year? I can't remember when it was, but they hadn't put it up like since it was introduced, and they're like, no, we're going to give you.
But
yeah, they were like, we're going to
either way,
a little hike, and then since then it's been like 3 price hikes, which is pretty nuts, admittedly. But this last one is the kind of takes the cake for some people. But I think what they've done, they've tried to shape it in a positive light, which I can appreciate. So they said, yeah, we're putting the price up, changing the tiers around. But if you do want to go with this ultimate, if you want to stick with it at $29 a month or £23, which is that's my money, then you're going to have all these benefits, like the Ubisoft Classics games, the X amount of day one games per year, the Fortnite thing, which doesn't influence, I don't care about that. But if you play Fortnite, that's a bonus. They've boosted the cloud gaming stuff. So I think that looking at it, like framing it positively, they haven't just said we're hiking the price up, deal with it. They said we're hiking the price up, but we're also going to do all this other stuff to make that tier much more like valuable. I think I'm right in saying that it was only the ultimate tier and Game Pass that had a price increase, and the PC Game Pass
went up.
What did I say?
I don't know. You said ultimate tier and Game Pass.
Oh yeah, sorry, I meant PC Game Pass. Yeah, so they, I think PCs was a negligible. Don't quote me on that, but I think it really wasn't that much of an increase. But I don't have it, so don't. And I'm saying this from a perspective of someone who pays for 2 subscriptions, because my wife has a subscription too. We're both on Ultimate, so I'm double bubble. So people out there that think they got it bad for one time, I got, because they don't have a family subscription or anything. Go figure. I have to pay for it twice. So
right. Yeah. So am I being fucking stupid then? Because then you're spending £46 a month
for the same shit twice.
For the
yes.
So you're spending over £500 a year.
Ooh.
Mind you, Game Pass Ultimate does allow family sharing on multiple systems at the same time.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh,
right, well, there you go. We just saved you.
There you go. You
just saved you
£250 a month.
£250.
And the PC, you say it's not negligible. It still went up near 40% in price.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we still, we've had unbroken subscriptions for as long as we've had Xboxes, and but that obviously, like, we got PlayStation, so we have PlayStation Plus, and there's a bunch of other subscriptions kind of mixed in there. But I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, again, I always look at it from the business side of things, the money side of things. Like, companies have to make money.
They already make a bunch of money.
They ought to make more. Have you seen Breaking Bad?
No, and I don't care to.
So there is a sequence in Breaking Bad where this guy has got like millions and millions of dollars, and there's another guy that wants to keep making money by doing criminal activities. And he's like, what does it matter? We got millions of dollars. And the guy's like, yeah, but how can you turn your back on more? And that's the way they look at it. It doesn't matter that they're in the billions and billions. They still want more. So they're going to do this, right? And I think, like I said, I'm framing it from the perspective of, it's not just like, take the increase and shut up. It's take the increase and this other stuff.
But the problem is their last price increase was a take the increase and shut up.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe they reflected on that and when we got to give them a sweetener this time around.
Sweetener that not everybody's going to use.
But it isn't a sweetener.
You hit the line where there is no value.
Yeah, but ultimately
$360 a year.
Are we switched around? I mean, AP on different sides today. I feel
usually it's the Americans and the Brits.
Oh, I have no idea.
but
I look at it. So I'm going to say like something that that obviously will paint me in a bad light, as it always does.
As if it hasn't already. And I'm the villain of the show, apparently.
People coming around saying, "Oh, we don't care. You know, I'm not going to pay that. I'm going to get rid of my subscription. I'm going to do like these guys." This is one of the biggest tech corporations in the world, man. If you don't think they've done like forecasting and projections to see that like they're ready to eat people canceling their subscription, and you know, because the cost of the people, the growth of the people staying that are going to keep paying kind of potentially outweighs the amount of people leaving. I don't know if that's the fact, but I can see it being something they would have already considered, and everyone kind of like complaining about it and stuff. You know, I think ultimately it's shouting into the void. We can complain about it and we can talk about how it's a terrible thing, but at the end of the day, we all just have to like it and lump it. Like, what are we going to do? Is the entire world
support it?
Xbox?
What can we do? Not give them the fucking money.
But then don't. This is the thing, right? You see all these people going up on socials being like, "Oh, I'm canceling my this and that. This is."
But they are. That's the thing, though. They are, to the fact that they like bog the system down. Right?
They are, and they have, and it's like, but it's like it's just the next thing. There will be something else. There will be another price hike. There will be another something that people don't disagree with. We'll be back in the same situation debating it, and it will just go on, and they'll do something else, and then something else. It's like people don't learn that corporations and companies and tech firms and whatever, this just happens. It's just life, man. Yes, but if you don't want to keep paying for it, then don't. Like, that's it. You don't have to. There doesn't have to be a song and a dance about it. Just adjust yourself. You know, like you don't have to be. People don't have to be going on tirades about it.
People need to vote with their wallet.
People don't have to be going on tirades against it, because you're just wasting your own energy. If you can afford it, great.
You're missing the entire.
You're missing
point
the
of social
point.
Media.
Well, look at what happened. Look at what happened with Jimmy Kimmel. Different but the same. Do you think Disney put Jimmy Kimmel back?
That was just weird.
Do you think Disney put Jimmy Kimmel back on the air because people were mad about it? No, they lost 2 million subscribers at $20+ a month.
Yeah,
within 48 hours.
What you've got to think about is that was all like political and everything, and it was. But
if the money wasn't being taken away,
loaded. That's the thing.
But if the money wasn't being taken away and people weren't actually canceling, they would not have made a change. If they noticed, it's not really impacting anything, they wouldn't have done it. That's
true. Are we really going to see? Are we going to see this price hike tank Game Pass to the point where they say we'll drop the price back down? I don't think we will.
But you also have this mindset. Like you're shouting into the abyss
about tirades. I did.
You're shouting into the abyss. But then on the opposite point, then maybe people should just shut up about things they like, because it doesn't matter either. And at that point, if you say there's no point. Which is what you said.
Media, no opinion.
What you said. There's no point in going on about how much this is anti-consumer and this is terrible, and it's ultimately going to hurt the bottom line of the Xbox side of Microsoft.
But I think I'm in the boat of what are you going to do?
Yeah, you got to have a VOC, man. You have to have a voice of customer, right?
I mean, if you don't, I know that. And you say, I mean, I'm in a business. You know, I'm not going to go into the side of things, but like,
Microsoft is not going to fall in love with you and pay you millions of dollars for kissing their ass.
I don't want them to. Kids, do you know we're moving, right? We're moving house, as you can see. Do you know what console got boxed up first?
I don't care.
The Xbox. Do you know why?
Because it doesn't get used, and it fits in a box.
It doesn't get used.
Tom, get in here before I lose my damn mind, Tom.
The voice of reason is here.
Yeah, I want to hear what you
say,
Tom.
I love this.
I need to.
Real quick, though, sorry, Tom. Grant knew this was going to happen. He had brought it up in the damn Discord. He knew what he was about to set off with me.
Yeah. Maybe I'm actually seething inside about the price hike, and maybe I think this is absolutely terrible, and we should all boycott Microsoft, but I just wanted that beef, man.
So first of all, I agree with Grant on absolutely everything he said.
God damn it, Tom!
No.
Up the British.
No, I don't. I agree on the point that obviously they've done analysis and all that kind of stuff, and they've probably worked out that they can do this. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe they wasn't expecting all the backlash, right? I think we always see this time and time again where something like this happens, and we always say, "Oh yeah, but social media is a little bubble in the grand scheme of things," which could be absolutely right? Like, but at the end of the day, for me, and I put this over on Twitter, I think subscriptions work because you subscribe to them and then you forget about them. Like $5.99, $6.99 a month, whatever. Like, you just completely forget about them because they're just not that expensive. When you start getting into, the $20 now $30 range, it starts to become more of a conscious choice for a lot of people. And I'm not saying, for like you, Mr. Moneybag, spending £54 a month on this thing.
On Game Pass, I don't even turn my Xbox on.
Yeah, exactly.
Scrooge McDuck over here.
But like, genuinely, for a lot of people, $30 is quite a substantial amount of money, right? And you could argue that it is like starting to approach like build territory where people are actually needing to put that down in their monthly budgets and all that kind of stuff. So for me, like, that's when you kind of lose the customer when you need to actually think about it. And I actually did go onto my bank statement to see what subscriptions I had, and I was shocked that I was paying £19 a month for Netflix, it's crazy.
I mean, have you seen how much Spotify is these days? That's about £17 a month.
Yeah. But I think maybe it's just not an Xbox problem, but it's a subscription problem in general, right? Like, at the end of the day, business is business, and corps will be corps, and I completely agree that they always want to make more money because that's the point of them. They've got shareholders, they've got all that kind of stuff, and it would be the best thing in the world if, like, shareholders one year went, yeah, we can take a 50% loss this year. We don't mind, but it will never happen. So they need to find ways to keep on making money. But yeah, I think for me, $30 at the end of the day is just too much. Yeah, it's 24 quid in the UK, so I'm not maybe viewing it as harshly as I should. But the minute that you consciously need to think about paying for a subscription that you should forget about is when things get a little bit dicey for me. I also pay $6.99 a month for PlayStation just to play online games, but I pay. I mean, again, this is going back to the forget about it mentality. I pay for PlayStation at £7 a month twice because last year for Call of Duty, I obviously had a second PlayStation, so I could reverse boost. Yeah, and it was so like.
I like how you say that. No, sorry to butt in, but obviously I had two last year because as if it's such a common thing that people do.
No, lots of people do it. They just don't say it because they're whatever. But
scared.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like, we're entering this dangerous territory now, and I think it's just the nature of subscriptions in general, to be honest. Xbox is a little bit different. Like, it doesn't do it for me as well, Ultimate, like on a personal level. Being able to get 1,000 V-Bucks and whatever else they threw in for Fortnite, like, that doesn't do it for me. Being able to play old Ubisoft games, I would argue, if you was a hardcore gamer, you've probably got all of them in some capacity anyway.
What would be better is if they lumped other stuff in with it. So, like, for example, I am a long-time subscriber to Fallout First in Fallout 76, and that's £12 a month, right? And that gets you like some in-game currency, gets you like exclusive cosmetics and stuff, and it is a little bit pay to win because of some of the advantages that it gives you in the game, which if you play a lot, you really need to get Fallout First. And that's obviously Bethesda, owned by Microsoft. So why can't they say Game Pass Ultimate also includes the subscriptions to games like that? Because then, like, for me, the value is questionless because it would take away, it would make sense then. Why can't they do things like that? Make it so that if it's an Xbox or Microsoft-owned entity, like my wife plays Elder Scrolls Online and they have an ESO Plus subscription for that. Well, that's ZeniMax. Make that part of the Game Pass Ultimate too. That's only like £9-10 a month, and make that part of it as well. I guess I understand this doesn't work. That's not how things worked. But it'd be cool if they could do that. Just lump it all in.
Yeah,
you brought up the subscription, and I truly feel we are heading for what we had in the early 2000s with the .com bubble. We are hitting that subscription bubble. It is within 5 years, it's going to burst because every company is doing it. You saw Disney do it with ESPN, their new app that they want people like $30 a month. Netflix is raising their prices. Disney Plus, their bundle, they raised it by $5. YouTube TV keeps raising it without adding anything. YouTube TV, I started that. It was $60 a month because I was paying $130 a month for satellite. Now it's up to about $100 a month I'm paying for YouTube TV in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like
I think
that's going to be canceled next. Like,
yeah, that's what these companies are forgetting. You know, I mean, this is for the movie and TV side, right? Like Disney Plus, Netflix, all of these are successful because they were $4.99, $5.99 a month. And now when you're talking 17, 18, 19.99 a month for each one individually, you might as well just go back to bloody satellite.
I think TV's the worst one too, man, because you look at all the splinter subscriptions and all the like Paramount Plus, and then you got like your, I mean, I can't, you know, but there's so many out there for TV. I really want to watch this show. What's it on? Oh, this is on Apple TV. I want to watch this one. What's it on? And so
this one's
Peacock.
on HBO Max.
And it's always on,
Peacock,
and you're like, I can't get all these things just to watch one show and just watch. Oh, it's like 5 seasons. Okay, but you've got to subscribe for like a month minimum to get it, and you know, and then you forget your subscriptions there, and it rolls over that you know about it.
Well, and that's why a lot of people
that's what they want to happen.
Wave the black flag.
Yeah.
But
back to
video. Donkey had a video on it where he was like, just if you wanted to watch every season of Pokemon, you need, I think, 7 or 8 different subscriptions.
Just mental. Yeah, back to Xbox.
Very much, man.
Back to Xbox.
Man, we're a film and TV podcast now, man.
Entertainment industry.
Like the Ultimate just doesn't do it to me, and I also want to question the logic of. Yes, obviously throwing in Fortnite and Ubisoft Classics is to add value to the customer, but Xbox has also paid for that, right? Like they've done some kind of deal behind the scenes where they might have said, "Yeah, we'll buy it at free $2.99 value, but it's a $10.99 value to the customer or whatever." So the actual like margins on that in the grand scheme of things, when you actually think, it's been upgraded to $10, and they've, say for instance, they did $3 to Ubisoft and $3 to Fortnite or whatever, like the profit for all of the Backlash seems a bit absurd to me. And I would argue that you're not really going to get a lot of people upgrading because of those. Or even buying it in general, to be honest, because I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. And I've seen a few arguments out there, like if you are a Fortnite player, because I think there's been a few surveys and studies and stuff like, 80% of Fortnite players only play Fortnite, right? So why the hell would you want to upgrade to a $30 a month subscription? I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. And I feel like they would have just got away with it a bit better by just doing the raise to like $23.99 or something like that, right? Like just do it slow, but like a 50% increase is just to be absolutely honest is fucking stupid.
Like
exclamation mark.
One of the things that I thought about, somebody asked about backpedaling, a lot of people, Fuzzy Muffin, Osleton, like, and what I'm thinking is I wonder if a week or two from now, they go, we've heard, granted, they did try and defend it today, or when they were talking with they tried to defend it, but a week or two, we're sorry, we really listened to feedback and we've heard you. That's why we're rolling back this price increase to $25 a month instead of $30, and it'll manipulate the mind of consumers in thinking they won something when in the reality, they didn't win shit. There's still a price increase.
Is Mike very easy?
Mike's having the tech issues this week, which is fun.
Yeah, we got this you're just you're kind of garbled and low bit rate,
robotic and stuff. But we heard what you said. But I agree. But I think I think like Microsoft have done quite a lot of damage, to be honest, with this one. Already 2 hardware increase. Like I even joked on Twitter. I said like, like Xbox is everywhere, but now you have to pay the price of a Series S once a year to play the platform. But even that's factually wrong, because an Xbox Series S isn't $360. It's fucking $400 now.
30 since they launched these hardware, 30 price increases for hardware that is near a decade old when you think about when it began production.
You are really breaking up, Mike.
What? Yep. Yeah. And he's gone.
No, that was me removing myself and coming back. Better?
Okay. For now.
Not really. Yeah.
I don't know why. It says it's a great connection.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not, like Grant said at the end of the day, he is right. Like, get on with it or don't at the end of the day. But
piss or get off the pot.
That's
it's almost like a podcast is where we all talk about our different opinions and voice our opinions. But yeah, it's a bit meh, to be honest. So yeah, we'll talk about this again in 6 months when there's another price increase
next week.
I don't think they're going to come out and backtrack. Like they obviously did it with the games as well, right? Like they increased them to $80 and then they backtracked on that. So maybe this time they just thought instead of upping the games by $10, we'll do it for our biggest subscription. It's just
absolutely
brutal. It's just mental.
Absolutely brutal. Now I'm afraid to talk because I don't know how I sound.
No, you're fine.
You're fine right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We do have more to get to as we start to wind down. I knew this was going to be a packed show with 2 stories taking up an hour. We did have some exclusives drop at Insider Gaming this week. 3 so far. 2 from me, 1 from Tom. Tom's was more of a inside baseball type of drop today on PlayStation, sunsetting some PS4 services for new titles starting in the spring. Tom, can you tell the people who may not have saw the story about that?
Yes, so there was an internal update for developers that PlayStation will soon be sunsetting some of its legacy services for the platform in spring 2026. So from spring 2026, any new game submissions, which basically means any new games that a developer wants to put on the platform will no longer be able to use a series of legacy features for the PlayStation 4. Now, I will read them out, but admittedly, I don't know what a lot of them are because a lot of them are like dev tools and that kind of stuff. But essentially, activity feed web API, title small storage, which is abbreviated to TSS, title user storage, abbreviated to TUS, users and profiles, word filters, and shared media web API. And interestingly enough, within that documentation, it said that these services are designed to provide a more unified and scalable foundation across console generations, which I think from the people that I've spoke to, some of the developers, this, apart from the first party developers, because I believe that they're pretty well integrated into the PlayStation 6 now in terms of like what's going on with it. But this is the first time that it's been mentioned internally with the devs that there is another PlayStation on its way, right? So, yeah, it's interesting. I think it's kind of expected. I guess we would be expecting things to start whittling down for the PlayStation 4 at this point in the PlayStation 5's life cycle. But admittedly, I don't know what it entirely means in the sense that does that now mean that Call of Duty, for example, will no longer be able to be past generation next year because of these features being cut?
That's my guess. The way that is like the activity feed web API is basically when you load up your PlayStation, you know how like your friends can see that. That's pretty obvious. A lot of it is the case of These little features. Word filters are how can people search your game. Shared media, can people share clips? Like, these are the features that are going to be cut off. So, yeah, then my mind goes, hey, the last gen is dead. We're about to move forward.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense, right? Like, I mean, yeah, it's interesting as well, though, because, like, Call of Duty or Activision, because I know that Grant doesn't like saying the game said, but but Activision did say that the reason why they still launch Call of Duty on past gen is because a lot of people still play it. And that is very true. That is very true, though, because I think it might have been
there, though. If it's not there, they'll find a way to play it. Like that's that weird, like, well, duh, of course they're going to keep playing it if you're still putting it out on the same system.
Yeah,
Why upgrade?
True. Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, like, we're going to move on, and then a year after, 20, probably holiday 27 is when the PS6 will release, or at least we'll start hearing about it. Maybe it's delayed to 28 or whatever, but things are looking
$1,000 PlayStation incoming, guys.
Oh boy,
we already know the next gen Xbox about $1, so
that's true. Yep.
Yeah, you are breaking up quite a lot, Mike, by the way.
It's frozen entirely now.
Yeah, my bet for the next generation isn't a grand. I reckon it's going to be like $7.99.
Even still, too much.
$7.99 is my guess. I'm locking it in now.
I'm going to say $8.99.
I'll go with $7.49.
But that only gives you a $50 window.
Yeah, I know. Well, if we're playing the prices right, I gotta,
Grant's gonna go for $4,000 and say that he's gonna still buy it.
I don't know what we're pricing.
The next gen consoles.
Like, yeah, I've literally no idea. I don't even know what they cost now. I have no idea.
Man, you don't read any of the stories published on Insider Gaming, do you?
No.
You can tell Grant pays for his shopping and stuff and doesn't look at the bill. Like, he just knows that
I got it.
What was that politician where they were asked, like, how much does a loaf of bread cost? And they were like, £5 or something. Like, they had no idea. They had no clue. Not that bad, but I just don't know how much. No, because I don't know how much they cost because I'm not in the market,
A Series X is $700.
Well, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it launched at... Did it launch?
It launched at $500.
Oh, $500.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts, man.
And then the PS5... The PS5 Slim is $500. The PS5 Pro is $700. But
I mean, I think like that's it, isn't it? Between like $600 and $800 or something. I don't know, man. I don't care about prices of things until I'm in the market for them, and then I look and size things up then. But
I stare at prices constantly.
Like at the moment, I'm in the market now for a knife block. So I've been looking on Amazon for knife blocks. I could tell you the price of some knife blocks, because I'm in the market for them.
But I feel like as a games reporter, games journalist, you should know the prices of game consoles.
Why?
It's your job!
And I can fucking research it when I'm writing about it. I have to know it. Okay, you're like one of them people, you walk into a fucking bookshop, bring a book. What is this one like? Assuming they've read every fucking book they're selling. Right?
Yes.
I have to know everything.
Yes. If I'm in a bookstore and you want to buy a book that's in my store, I should be able to tell you who wrote the book, the name of the book, the price of the book.
Nuts, man. That's a really weird expectation. And you get some fucking... Your bit rate must be like 1 right now. Jesus, man. That's it. I've won. He's disconnected. No, but like it's a fair point, right? Like there are things that you should and shouldn't know and things you can research or whatever. If I have to suddenly do an article about what's the price of this, I just go, da. Okay, cool. And now I know. It's unrealistic to say you should know about everything. But now I know.
I do love Mike losing his shit in 1 FPS and
I don't believe in general knowledge.
50p.
Yeah, man. I don't believe in general. Well, that's the thing, though. Like, if general knowledge would be walking down the street and saying, "Excuse me, how much is an Xbox Series X?" How many people are going to know that on average, right? General knowledge is like, what color's the fucking sky?
This isn't general knowledge.
That's just eyesight.
It's axiomatic that the sky is fucking blue, Tom. Jesus, man.
You didn't say that. You said, what's the color of the sky? That's not general knowledge.
How is it not?
It's just fucking.
You can look at it immediately.
General knowledge would be something
Shut up, Mike. You can't fucking
like
garbled son of a bitch.
What's the longest snake in the world or something like that? That's general knowledge.
King Cobra Python.
No, well, yeah, King Cobra is the longest venomous snake.
So you're telling me I was right?
No, I didn't say venomous snake.
I know more about
snake.
Snakes than I know about
Anaconda, buddy.
Yep.
Anaconda.
That's what I was gonna say.
So the reticulated python. Oh no.
Reticulated pythons are short as hell, man. You eat those on Snake Eater.
No, they're not. The fucking well big, man. Right, I think we're losing.
Talk to me about tank.
All right.
You're not ranting about snakes.
All right. Am I bitty still? This is
bullshit. Terrible right now. You're getting worse progressively.
Why?
I don't know.
I have nothing else running.
Right, everyone's wrong. Shut up. Reticulated pythons are the longest snake in the world.
How?
The green anaconda is the heaviest. Yeah, look at you all on Google now.
On Google.
Then how is Big Boss munching them things, man?
Because he's Big Boss. He's the snake.
A 7.7 meter snake. How on earth could you imagine he tranks that thing and tries to carry it around in a little cage? Grabby battle.
Yeah, but fuzzy muffin, that's like saying a polar bear's white when it's actually clear because it's
I know that. We know that. Everyone, that's trivia. That's not
general knowledge.
That's trivia.
General knowledge.
General knowledge should be things that everyone should be expected to know. Like something like that is trivial knowledge, where it's a specialist subject and you might not necessarily ever have heard about that.
I don't even want to get to Lord of the Rings.
Console prices are trivia.
Yes, because it's a specialist subject. A gamer wouldn't know the prices of a console.
But it's your job.
No, sorry.
A
gamer would.
Video game journalist.
Well,
should know the prices of the consoles that they're expected to cover.
I'll do some research today for everyone.
I want a two-page report, 6-point font, single spaced.
You sound. I know you want something from me, but I don't know what it is, man.
I can't tell if you guys are messing with me or not.
No, it's really.
When you watch it back,
pretty bad.
You'll notice when you watch it back. Yeah.
Guys, I hate my life right now.
Well,
I'm not even going to get into the Lord of the Rings. I'll save that for next week if I have more.
Yeah,
well, this was
I think we should wrap it up, to be honest, because
Mike's
really bad.
Yeah, Mike's suffering.
Signal, man.
Immeasurably.
I'm intentionally removing myself and seeing if it works.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
You need to do some trivia on fucking internet speeds.
I pay for a gig.
It's so funny the way he just keeps chopping around.
He's
like stop motion or something.
I'm done. I quit. Wrap it up.
All right. Well, what Mike was going to say is make sure you guys are following us over on Insider Gaming on X. It's insider_gaming. Of course, we're also at insider-gaming.com. You can follow us on all of our handles listed there at Mike Straw Media. Just look for Tom on the snowmobile as always. Grant is at Nukov_. I'm, of course, at the Weekly Wrap Up. And for Mike, Grant, and Tom, I am your host with the most day to the P. Albert Perkins. And we will see you on the inside. And it looks like I just stole Mike's job. Done and done.
Wait, Mike's got to end it. Can he do